From garments to electronics, Philippine exporters are facing tougher competition, with a 19% U.S. tariff in place and some ASEAN rivals enjoying better trade deals. This matters because exports support millions of jobs and are a crucial source of dollar earnings for the country. Robert Young, the president of the Foreign Buyers Association of the Philippines, represents international buying offices that source from Philippine manufacturers, connecting foreign buyers with local producers and advocating policies to keep our exporters competitive. Today, we ask him how buyers are reacting, which sectors are most at risk, and where the next opportunities may be. Hi, Mr. Young. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for inviting me, Ms. Mikey.
Yeah, interesting topic on Philippine exports. Let's start with the current trade climate. And to assess this, sometimes we need to look back in order to understand where we are now. That said, sir, when you take a look at the first half of the year, how was our national competitive standing then?
It's quite remarkable. The Philippine export showing rose to about 26%. This is as per the DTI figures that we just gathered a few days ago. And so this is a very good signal for the international market. The international buyer will have some confidence in this kind of figures that we have just released. However, realistically, we cannot use this as a gauge as a continuing trend. The reason behind this is, the world got rattled when this Trump tariff came out of the picture, and so everybody was rushing. They had these push-outs, we call it, or the accelerated deliveries. So that increased the figures. So this is not actually realistic figures.
So the buying programs are a year out. They start a year out.
That's right.
Seasons in advance, especially for garments. That said, you mentioned that the DTI just released figures that total exports in the first half are up 26%. So you sense that these figures are a little bit artificial as companies try to take advantage of that time before the tariffs took effect. What would you say about this 26% jump in the first half, sir?
Yes, that's the reason why we have this kind of increase. All the suppliers, really rushed to beat the deadline, the tariff deadline.
They scrambled with higher volumes.
Yes. They accelerated their shipments, and that increased the figures of the export performance of the Philippines. So,
yeah, looking at the second half of the year, so many more hurdles to jump. We just received word that the semiconductors, our top export to the U.S., President Trump is now threatening a 100% tariff on semiconductor imports. That's how do you assess that? What's your reaction to this, sir?
Our reaction is really like this will be a hard climb for the semiconductor sector, and really we will not be any more competitive, I think, in the world market in case this will be done on this 100% increase. So the government somehow should really act swiftly. The high degree of urgency is there already.
So from a 26% growth in the first half of 2025, sir, as the cards are being laid out, are you looking at a contraction in the second half?
This will all depend actually on the reaction of the U.S. consumers. You see, the judgment will be if the U.S. consumers will still pick up the Philippine products from the shelves. Meaning, if we are the highest priced among all these countries, the ASEAN countries that also shipping to America, of course, this will be a bad signal to the American buyers. We might just be erased from their buying program. So in the 3 months' time, we should really sharpen our pencils to make sure that our prices are still the minimum that we can
it's really all about pricing.
All about pricing.
Sir, with a 19% U.S. tariff now in effect, how are American buyers responding? Are they canceling orders, or are they renegotiating? I mean, these are relationships that have spanned years. What are they doing now? Are they tweaking any of their orders, the volumes? And are foreign buyers willing to absorb part of the increasing costs due to the tariffs?
Yes, we are very lucky that our buyers, our U.S. principals, are very cooperative in the sense that they are ready to have this kind of sharing scheme on the tariff. Some even offered for like a 50-50 sharing, 50% on them and 50% on the Philippine side. Some are like 75-25, depends. It's case-to-case basis. But this is, of course, a welcome
Yeah, they're helping and they're
news.
cooperative
Of course,
in absorbing that cost.
Plus the fact that we have dealt with them for the past many, many years, and so perhaps they took into consideration the relationship also as well.
Yeah.
So we're happy that we can somehow at least survive this. But this is in the meantime. We don't know how long this arrangement will hold.
Yeah.
Just so we can finish the contract, because as I mentioned a while ago, the contract is like for 1 year. And so we just have to finish
anyone's
all
guess
this.
to see how buyers' preferences will change after that time period.
Yeah.
Something worth mentioning, sir, even before this tariff, our prices were about 15% higher than Vietnam and Bangladesh. With this new rate in place, where does the Philippines stand now in terms of our national competitiveness in exports?
This will be really a hard hurdle for us. We should do double, if not triple effort. But we are doing and finding ways and means. Like for instance, in the textile division, we try to scout for the cheapest source of fabric around the globe. Like, you know, we went as far as like Turkey, Pakistan, India to look for the cheaper fabric, textile to be used for the production. Then again, of course, this when you imputed this in the FOB free on board pricing, somehow it can ease up, you know, the costing. It will not be as high as like you mentioned that we are 15% higher already originally, the pre-Trump tariff, and then again this 19%. You can imagine already how much we will end up, you know. So with this remedials that we are doing, somehow it can ease up the business. Somehow.
What are the buyers' top complaints? Is it really just pricing, sir?
You know, all over the world, this is really their motto now. It's the best price for the best quality. So it is not new to us. So we are not resting. We really sharpen our pencils and really try to lower down our cost and be in the competition still.
You know, going back to the tariffs on semiconductors, our top export, DepDev Secretary Arsenio Balisacan says this will have a minimal impact. What are your thoughts on this? How big or how little of an impact will it have on us?
An increase is always be an increase. You see, what the problem here now is if this the buyers, the U.S. buyers and the local suppliers will somehow make an arrangement or somewhere that they can meet halfway to ease up this tariff shift. So I guess we can survive until the end of the year, but the 2026 will be very, very crucial.
There's that tariff shift, that 19% tariff shift, but then there's also the threat of a 100% tariff on U.S. On semiconductor imports to the U.S.
That's right.
How do you think that's going to hit us, sir?
It will be very, very tragic for sure, because we might be losing the business already if that will be the case. It's not that, you know, like I said, increase will be always an increase. So I don't know how they can manage to somehow remedy this.
Yeah, when we look at concrete steps to remedy this over the short term and over the long term, sir, what do our exporters need to do differently in the second half in order to maintain that competitive advantage and to maintain their market share?
Like I mentioned a while ago, just keep on looking for means to cut cost. You know, on the supply side, you know, we are an importing country, so we don't have raw materials in the Philippines. Getting a cheaper materials for production will somehow lower down the free onboard pricing, and so we can still like be in the in the competition, I think.
In order to compete, we also need to produce things that can only be found in the Philippines. Is there an area where the Philippines has a niche or has a niche we can own, something no one else we can produce? Maybe in tropical fiber or in other indigenous materials, something that dito lang sa Pilipinas makukuha, sir.
You are right. Tama ka dyan, Mikey. You mentioned the tropical and the indigenous fiber. Yes, we are very much into that now. The government is in full support. However, it did not yet click in the international market. But this we can call our own. About the saleability, we don't know yet the commercial value of that. But somehow I think we have to refocus on the more viable items, just like the textile, which is for everyday wear, as they call it. This can somehow also help if we can revive the textile industry of the Philippines on that sector, on the everyday wear textile.
We can
and
compete
not the
on
specialized
craftsmanship, materials, and flexibility. Sir, in terms of new markets and diversification, beyond the United States, what are the near-term growth opportunities here? I mean, there's so many other big markets. There's Russia, there's Canada.
Correct. We have plans now for Russia. We are exploring Russia right now, in fact, with DTI. And we have been shipping to Canada, actually, for the many years in winter clothes until we lost it to Bangladesh and Vietnam. So now we're trying to revive the relationship and focus somehow on these guys, Canada, Australia, EU. I think it was our mistake.
It'd be interesting if we could talk specifics like the brands and the actual products, but you have confidentiality clauses, so we won't go there. We have to speak in broader strokes. When we talk about remedial measures from the government, sir, what can the government do at the onset and long term to soften this blow?
There are many ways, but the impact should be felt immediately, such as the port fees. They can somehow perhaps suspend or reduce or subsidize. There will be some also tax holidays that can offer. So the exporters will be somehow not burdened with all these costs.
Alleviate some of that burden.
Can be alleviated.
So when you say, of course, you want no port fees, as some countries have scrapped that, if it would be a reduction, what would be a good number?
It will be minimal. It will be minimal, but at least it will help. Like I said, from the textile pricing and all these raw materials and the suppliers, the supplies, and with all this help, tax holidays and the port fees. This will have, at the end of the computation, you can see that the FOB cost will lower down.
And it's really all about price.
Correct.
Compete based on price.
So that we can
sir, of course, better kung walang port fees. Pero what's a number that you can work with in terms of lower port fees? What would you like from the government?
At least subsidize half of it, at least, you see, in the beginning, because we know that they need this also for the government revenue. But somehow it will also give the right signal to the exporters to go on. We are here to help you, and we are not abandoning you. This is a very important thing. Motherhood statements on this kind of it should not be anymore included in the agenda. I think.
We need actionable information. Actionable information. And just strong moves. Speaking of strong moves, what do you think of the DTI's export promotion budget, and how does it compare with our neighbors like Thailand and Vietnam?
The several groups are complaining. To be frank about it, it's pathetic, the budget for this promotional thing. And compared to the other ASEAN neighbors, perhaps we are the last in this kind of budget. I don't have the figure also now. Just to cite to you, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, they have major trade fairs every month. They invite us
with incentives, free tickets, free hotels for people to come. But maybe in our case, it's seen as an expense and not as an investment.
Correct.
How can we persuade the DTI, the government, to invest?
We just have to prove to them that it's really important, especially at this time of this kind of crisis, we have to have that. They always say, nobody will be there. Nobody will go to our booth. They have to understand that the industry presence is important. You just have to be there. Just like what the other countries that I mentioned. They don't care whether you come and check their prices here and there, but they are there. Malaysia included, Vietnam is there. Where you look for Philippines, where are they?
Sir, if nothing changes within the next 6 to 12 months, what would be the likely impact on export volumes and on jobs?
The jobs will definitely be affected if there will be closures or somehow downsizing. I hope not. I hope it will not happen. But we are trying. We are not waving the white flag. Yeah. So we, in our own capacity, we are exerting all efforts to stand on our own feet, with or without the government subsidy, and just we keep on moving forward.
What's the silver lining here, sir? Do you see any silver lining?
Silver lining is like this tariff can be just one of the passing scenes. You know, in 3 years' time or 4 years' time will be another story. And who knows? A lot of cases are now a lot of opposition being thrown at this tariff thing. So we don't know what will happen. This is to us a geopolitical topic. So we just hope for the better.
Yeah, hoping for
and
the best.
For the country.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you for inviting me, Ms. Mikey Oreta.
All right.